What's up, everybody? Metal Gladiator here with another episode of Gladiator Gear. I believe I said in the last one or the one before I was wanting to do more just gear in general, because I pretty much reviewed all the guitar pedals I have at the moment. So I'm going to actually go into my guitars and some other things. I do plan on doing some like YouTube shorts or whatever, with like these little short episodes of like maybe some guitar picks and stuff. I do have like 3 different kind of guitar picks, and you know, I think it would be cool. No need to put those in the whole video, just do shorts of them. But yeah, today I'm going over my acoustic guitar, which this is actually going to be kind of like a 2 reviews in 1 kind of video, because I'm actually going to be talking about my experience with these strings as well. And I've done a little customization to it, so I'm just going to be talking about my experience with this particular guitar. And yeah, let's get into it. It's the Epiphone DR-100. Now they run about 150 to 170, something like that. I think I got this one for like 140. I got a deal on it. But yeah, it's a pretty cheap guitar, and I think it is a pretty good beginner acoustic guitar, especially. This is my first acoustic guitar. As of now, it's my only acoustic guitar. Hopefully that's going to change. I'm looking for an acoustic electric so I can actually properly record it through my audio interface and stuff. But so yeah, I think it's a pretty good guitar. I'm going to be playing it a little bit, testing it out, just not playing anything crazy. I just want to show you guys, demonstrate how it sounds to you guys, and these strings in particular, because these are the acoustic, Martin's acoustic Eric Clapton Signature strings. So I'm going to give my thoughts about this, and then you could just hear it. These are definitely not the guitar strings that you're going to have on the guitar when you actually buy it from a guitar shop or anything like that. The little customization stuff I did here, just something, just a little thing I thought would be cool. It looks pretty nice. This is just these little fretboard stickers that I got on, like, I don't even know, probably like eBay. They get it for like $2. They're not going to affect your play style whatsoever, or it's not going to affect the sound of the guitar. It's just a little neat customization that I did. That's the rosewood fingerboard here with dot inlays. You do have dots on top here and on the actual frets, which you will not be able to see because of my customization to it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have a little montage near the end of me showing close-ups so you can get a better look at it. But let's go into the sound, and I'll dive a little bit more into my experience with these specific strings here as well. So let's get started. I'm just going to basically be fooling around with some chords and stuff. I've got it in E standard. So, well, first we're going to see how a nice open string strum sounds like. Now, unfortunately, I actually kind of forgot to fix this before the video, but I actually lost a screw on the knob here. So there's this rattling every time I'm hitting these bottom strings here. So, best you can, just ignore that. If you can't hear it very well and it is somewhat of a distraction, just know that this is on mine and it's not an actual feature of the guitar. I'm going to play some simple chords, see how they sound. So yeah, most people are going to be using acoustics for strumming and stuff anyway, so that was just some beginner chords or whatnot. I'll show you how it sounds. I'm gonna do a little bit of like maybe some arpeggio stuff, just so you can get an idea of some other things, other kind of like play styles or whatnot. I'm going to try to do some bar chords, and then after I'm done with the bar chords, I'm going to discuss a little bit more in detail about my thoughts on these strings right here. So do the, obviously the classic. Every guitar beginner's nightmare right here. The F chord. That was definitely not the pattern I just did, but so yeah, it does sound pretty good, and I do definitely think that this is a really good beginner guitar. It's not too pricey. Like I said, I got it for like 140 to 150. It's about that range. I was just looking on GuitarCenter.com, and I believe it's like about 169. Well, so about like 170 after like all the tax and shipping and stuff. But yeah, you know, I think it's worth the price. Definitely not too much of a big loss if you are just getting into guitar. You don't want to buy something like crazy. But yeah, I think it's a good beginner guitar. My experience with the guitar strings, again, I don't really know what strings they had on them or what kind of strings. Considering it's Epiphone, I imagine it's probably like something like Orthwood or GHS, something. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about that, but I did change them probably about a month or two after I had the guitar. This was actually my first guitar that I first tried Gladiator strings on. And I really liked them on this guitar, so I started getting them for my electrics. Because before I just used like GHS on my electrics and stuff because it was like the cheapest or whatever, you know. But as soon as I started using Gladiator on here, I was like hooked. I was like, I really like these strings. But then I decided to switch it up after using Gladiator for a few times. Different gauges of, I think I used like 2 different packs that had different gauges and stuff. And before you asked, I do not remember what kind of gauges they were. That's something I can never keep in my head. I always look what gauge there is I've got when I'm restringing my guitars, but I never remember what they are. Anyway, so I decided to go with Martin. And this is the Eric Clapton Signature strings. This is my first experience with Martin, and I've got to be honest, I'm I like it, but I don't at the same time. Thicker strings, they got higher gauge or whatnot compared to like what I was used to. But it seemed like they were just, this could just be a me thing, but they just seemed to be a bit more, I struggled a bit more with using it. I was having a lot of trouble with these like riffs or certain things I was playing on it that I never really did with Gladiator, and I would put a bunch of hours into practicing them and just kind of like see no improvement. So I don't know, it might just be me, but I'm not necessarily crazy about these strings. I like them, I like how they sound. I probably will still try other Martin strings down the road, but the Eric Clapton Signatures I don't think are strings that I'm necessarily going to go back to. Other than that, just struggling with some of the things that I've always been able to play. I don't really have any other kind of like critique or anything about these strings. I think they sound good. It's just they're not my thing really. I'm not gonna be playing Eric Clapton Signatures, but if you like a thicker gauge or just thicker strings, maybe they're your thing. You know, we're all into different things with instruments, and you have wide variety to choose from. But yeah, this was kind of weird for me too, because this was really the first set of strings that I wasn't fond of, because I don't know, it just kind of opened my eyes to some things as a guitarist that I was playing. Like I said, I only made the switch to Gladiator like a few years ago, and other than that I was always GHS, so I've been kind of in a comfort area with strings. But since I started working and getting money, I'm kind of going out there and actually experimenting, which is a good thing. I like experimenting with instruments and stuff, and that's also another reason for this series. So yeah, if you like that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend subscribing, because these are definitely not going to stop. I still have about 4 guitars, one being a bass, that I need to do as well. So yeah, closing thoughts. The Eric Clapton Signature strings aren't necessarily my thing, but they might be yours, so you could give it a shot. I can't remember how much they were though. I want to say they were about $7-8. Don't quote me on that. I really can't remember. But the guitar was about $150, $160, and I definitely recommend it. I think it's a very good beginner acoustic guitar, even if that does seem a bit too pricey for your very first guitar. If you definitely want to go to something cheaper, like one of those really cheap $70 guitars or something, you could do that if this seems a bit too pricey. But I definitely recommend this guitar. And honestly, I wouldn't say it's a bad guitar to have for people who are not beginners, if you're like intermediate or whatever. I kind of like this guitar. It is my first acoustic, so maybe I'm a little biased, but hey, I know a lot of people really like Epiphone acoustics anyway, so I've rambled on enough. Rambled on too much, I would say. Too much to the point that I'm going to edit a lot of stuff down, and probably this in particular. Insert editor joke here. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. You kind of got a little glimpse of what this guitar is, if you're interested. So that's definitely a goal with this series as well, is to kind of show you a little review / test or whatever. See if you want to make up your mind and buy it or not. So that's going to do it for this episode of Gladiator Gear, and hope to see you in the next one.